Let me give a little introduction to Doug Wilson and why I'm eager for him to be part of this conference with an anecdote. I was listening to a sermon of his the other day. He's preaching his way through Romans as I'm making this video, and he gave an illustration of the difference between good advice and good news. And he said good advice is a teacher saying to her class, you study hard, memorize your paradigms, you do your homework and get it in every night, and then I think you'll do fine on the final exam and the passing of this course. All is really good advice. And then the exam comes, and this teacher's walking down the aisle, and she sees this young fellow sitting over a blank piece of paper, not able to write anything on the final exam, and she stops and says, more good advice would be just try to remember everything you've studied and give yourself attention here and just relax. That's all very good advice. And then he said, but if she says, why don't you scoot over and I'll take the test for you. That's good news. Now when I heard that, I thought, okay, there are three things about that characterize Doug Wilson. Number one, it's true. And Doug gets the gospel right, especially substitutionary atonement and justification by faith alone. And he's going to take our place, and his righteousness is going to count for me at the last day, and that will be my solid ground. Number two, it's risky to give illustrations like that, because you might have somebody say, well, if God's going to take the test for me, then I can just fool around all semester long. That's antinomianism. And my response is, if you don't preach in such a way that somebody responds like Romans 6:1, let us sin that grace may abound, you're probably not preaching the gospel. We've got to preach good news, not good advice, as the ground of our salvation, as the message of our salvation. So it's risky, and Doug Wilson is a risk taker. We all know that. And number three, it is compelling to use an illustration like that. Doug has a way with language, and what he says is unusually compelling. So you put all that together with the fact that he's got a solid commitment to inerrancy, an unflinching, unashamed commitment to the Bible, that he loves the historic Christian faith and regards the Westminster Standards as orthodoxy, that he loves history and is a historical student, that he loves the vision of John Calvin as a culture-savvy person. I wanted to give him the assignment of talk to us about the biblical script and the impact of Calvin on this world through this biblical script called the Bible. I'm really eager to hear what he says.